Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice is an actual play TTRPG podcast exploring a vast universe of our own design. With the infinite expanse of adventures awaiting us comes a litany of possible dirty, dark, or deranged scenes and topics. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Last time we had the chat, we sat down with everyone on the ship, elected a new leader of the ship, which is awesome. Captain Rake is now an actual captain. I'd like to think that he's stuck with Captain Rake. That feels right for him. Got a new mission plan in tow. The crew, along with Hyatt Cola, is to go out. Now just the crew. I wouldn't even just say along with Hyatt Cola. The crew is to go out and...
Reluctantly, Hyatt Cola joins the crew.
Test out this new planet. Really check it out. Make sure that it's safe for the ship to travel to. The mission wants to look like any normal mission like this would go. These are normal missions that are gone out on, which is to check out the new planets for a jump to theoretically expand this bubble of the system. We're
creating our own bubble now.
Yeah, we're just trying to escape the bubble. Cluster Jorgen, Hyatt's second in command, is staying behind to use Hyatt Cola's codes to help with the extra stuff that Cola's codes could help give them access to. I know that Slippy he blew his load instantly coming back buying the gun. Is there any check before the team were to leave? Is there any preparatory stuff per character that needs to occur?
Slippy cleans his gun and he checks to make sure that email that he sent has been sent. He checks it over and over.
And what email is this?
The email that he sent to Carissa.
Oh, okay.
That was very vaguely alluding to the fact that the ship is going to warp jump to a new place.
Good. Awesome. I do remember that. Cool. Cola, you have some prep stuff to do with Jorgen, correct? You've got some surgery stuff to do?
I sure do. I definitely didn't forget that was a thing I had to do.
No, so while you're going over the obvious notes that you took on that last time while you were thinking about it, maybe we'll do BBW and Carl while you're going over your scrupulous notes. I'm certain you took over what you wanted to do.
Gotta make sure that you do it in the right order.
Are there any prep stuff, BBW, Carl?
Nobody try and out big gun me. You'll lose.
I got another rare tech piece, I guess, near the end of last session, I think. So before leaving, I would probably work with Blacksmith to engage that into my existing weapon.
Yeah, and what is that rare tech piece again?
I can insult the gun with Defy Danger Charisma, and success adds 1d4 damage to the shot. Failure locks the gun.
I somehow very vaguely remember that.
I don't
remember it.
And I'm loving it.
This is an ability of yours that you insult your weapon?
It's a special weapon that I got, but since it's a piece of rare tech, I can kind of graft it onto my gun. So now my gun is just one that I can insult. I gave my gun the AI from that gun.
I gave my gun sentience, and I'm gonna insult it now.
I got the sentience upgrade.
Okay, cool. So you got that put onto your own rifle, or did you get that put onto your stick as well? Or your stick?
I believe I just put that onto my rifle.
Okay. BBW, any prep work or anything to do on the ship before we gear up to leave?
No, I think we're all good. I'm going to take these funds with us.
Sweet. So then all that's left is Cola's body mods for the mission.
Yeah, Cola has his body mods selected. We're going to go with 1 3rd level supply and 2 5th level supply this time.
Okay.
We're keeping the past peeper because we didn't really get to use it too much, and I want to see that work. We're going to go with the moderate heal ray and the force shield, both for the same purpose, basically.
Defensive
an unknown
support?
spot protection.
Yeah. Okay,
yes,
yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Just curious, how does the heal ray sit on your body? How is this body modded?
I think we talked about how the Instabind was like a cartridge loaded into my forearm. I would say that the moderate heal ray is basically just swapped into that It's like a plunger that like aerosolizes like medicine and just sort of sprays people with it.
Like a cool mist at a hot concert where they just have those mist machines. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
It's like
the
what
water,
Bane has,
the water
but
fans.
I'm using it on other people and not myself.
Okay.
The force shield is trickier.
This is the one that deploys a 5x5 defensive barrier,
15
right?
hit point force wall. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a serious piece of gear.
This feels like
Um,
something you might drop something, like you might have a piece that lets a little ball out that deploys this or something, you know what I mean? Something along those lines. It feels like it doesn't come from your body. That would be wild if you were now the force barrier. Although, that could be funny. Every time you T-pose, it creates a 15-foot or a 5x5 foot wall.
I don't love that, I gotta say.
I don't either as a player, but as someone, you know, watching the adventure from the outside, that's fucking hilarious.
Until someone says something else, I think that's what it is.
It's
Yeah, no, as a
wonderful idea.
consumer of content, I do love the image of Cola doing like a backbend and like expanding a forced dome over everybody.
He has to hold the backbend the whole time.
He does. He can't. Yeah, if he comes out of it, you lose the force wall, so he has to sort of inch his way everywhere.
That's goofy.
I hope we never have to utilize that ability.
I think it's just I think it's a thing. I think the first thought, best thought, it's like a sphere in his backpack.
And just to be clear, this produces a 2D sort of sheet of 5x5 force wall that you can hide behind and shoot out of, but it's not like a full dome protecting you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is like a hallway blocker, not a survive a cascade of lava kind of a thing.
We can shoot through this.
Oh, I guess the lava would burn through the 15 health pretty quick.
Yeah, can we shoot through it?
Can we shoot out?
No.
Is it like Bastion from Overwatch rules? Okay,
no, you can't shoot through it. You'll have to peek the wall to fire, but it gives you a defensible space.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
And I think like
that's
if
very
you
good.
deploy the wall, as long as your roll goes well, you can just deploy another wall if that wall goes down. You know what I mean? It
deploy
isn't
the wall,
lost.
and then all you see is a big gun getting stuck over the wall.
I get semi-infinite walls so long as the probability gods smile at me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I'm here for this.
So loaded up. We know we're heading to a planet. Pretty much all we know about this planet is it has reflected some greenery back at us. It has reflected lots of grays and metallics back at us, and that there are readings of electronics on this planet. The distance is vast, is huge. So like our scans are just picking up mostly the readings of like light returning. In a lot of these cases, we are surprised when we are finding these little blips of technology because, I mean, the further and further we've gone out from the center, the organization has found less and less highly advanced civilizations. They crop up here and there every now and then, but it is less and less common as the expanse has continued over time. So you know that you are going to be, it's a long journey, a couple months by maximum speed of your ship space flight. You are loaded up with all of the necessary food, and you are also loaded up with enough food back, right? Because this is trying to look as much like a normal thing as possible. So they drop about 4 months of dried foods into your storage hold, pretty much taking up the vast amount of your storage supply.
Yes, because normally I like to eat. Slippy is going to do an inspection on the loading process to make sure that we don't have any stowaways. Because Slippy had to babysit for a week last time, and he did not want to do that. It made him look very uncool in front of Carissa.
I do not think that the uncoolest thing to make you look in front of Carissa was Lucy.
That's just not how Slippy sees it.
So give me what role do you want to make that going through, being this
Discern reality.
Overwatch? Discern realities? Okay.
Wisdom. Okay, it's a 6. So I do not know.
They load everything up smoothly. You're impressed. I think at some point you start just helping. You're like, you notice someone that just needs help, and before you realize it, you've been helping just the last hour, like heavily load this stuff onto the ship, and so like it's all loaded into place.
Now that it's all in there, I can't like look through it, so I'm just not going to. Good work, everybody. Appreciate the help.
The ship is loaded up. Your med bay is given an upgrade to allow for long-term relaxation. Yeah, it's given an upgrade to allow your med station to really treat some more like long-term care, long-term wounds. You folks oversee for the most part all of these load-ons and load-ups to the ship, and before long the ship is prepared to take off. You folks load up onto the ship, and the station begins its procedures for your takeoff. Dante, roll a D100 for me.
45.
45. Incredible.
Hey guys, I need to stop at Space Bank before we go out of the system. I'm going to take out a high interest loan because we're not going to be part of the system soon.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay.
And I'm going to buy a bunch of ammo for my big gun.
You folks take off into space. Unfortunately, all the space banks are the other direction. No high interest bank loans this
Foiled
way.
again.
Foiled again. Yeah, you folks take off. It's out directly from the station and straight out past the planet in a direction you just have never gone before. It is a few moments before you reach the edge of the asteroid belt that surrounds the planet and the station, and with some easy maneuvers in the AI system, you move through the belt and out into open space, ship reaching full speed and jetting off into the cosmos. It isn't but maybe 10-15 minutes before you hear some rustling down the stairs. You folks are all still hanging out, just having left in the in the.
What was that?
I meant to.
I've never
checked,
been on
guys.
one of these missions before.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to happen?
You're all hanging out on the bridge. There's a little bit of rustling down the set of stairs, and you hear some footsteps ascending the stairs, and Lucy pokes her head into the bridge. She is this time dressed in a nice fitted, seemed tailor-made sort of adventuring leathers. She's got several sort of belts of ammunition crossing her chest, and a couple pistols on her hip. And
Lucy,
she's
you're
like,
fucking loaded. What the fuck?
she's like, hey guys, I thought that I would join you on another one. I'm much more prepared this time.
Did your mom know you came?
She does.
Are you lying to me?
Not this time either.
Adventurers don't lie.
But I left a note. I didn't tell her, but I left a note. I'm sure she'll find it when she looks for me.
What did the note say? Because it hasn't been that long. We can still turn around.
Gone.
It's only been 15 minutes, so
shoot.
Yeah, you played your hand too early, Lucy.
Go home. Aw. It says gone on adventure with Slippy, back soon.
Fuck. Yeah, we gotta go back, guys.
No, but it would be too soon if we came back this early.
Too
you know?
soon for what?
The note. It wouldn't make any sense.
That's fine.
Let's put it this way: if we take you back this soon,
if
we take you back this soon, you've got time to remove the note. It's like it never happened.
No, it did happen, and I'm super prepared this time. Last time I wasn't prepared, but this time I had Shaq train me up and everything. I can help.
Lucy, do you even know what we're doing?
We're exploring new worlds this time. It sounds more fun than those weird adult games you guys played on the other planet. Or I was stuck in the hotel room the whole time.
Lucy, do you know when your birthday is?
I do. Of course, it's April 14th.
Oh wow, my cousin was born on that month.
We have to let Lucy stay.
See?
birthday's so
It's so soon, right? That's right. It's in just a few days. I want to celebrate my birthday. It's next month. I want to celebrate my birthday with you guys.
birthday cake I
Well,
kept from the meeting.
it's really hard for me to reject a Blorple wish.
It's my Blorple wish when I turn
Blorp-teen.
Blorp-teen. When I turn 9. You know.
Well, give me some of your ammo and then I'll let you stay.
Wasn't she 5?
5
Yeah,
felt
but she's gonna be Blorp-teen.
wicked young. 5 felt just
Yeah,
so
that's why
wicked
I'm
young.
really surprised that that we're bringing her along on another mission since she's maybe 6.
I mean, she's strapped this time.
Too bad, Hayat Cola.
She unhooks one of her belts and says, "I mean, I guess if this is what makes you say yes, you can have my ammo. What happens when I run out of ammo with this one ammo belt?"
Me and my gun will take care of it. Don't worry.
Okay, here you go.
How much ammo is that?
Another canister. I don't know. It's just how I wanted to represent her having extra ammo canisters.
Extra ammo canisters.
It's just one extra ammo canister.
Damn.
Yeah, all of the ammo was put in 1 bullet increments on the belt. So it's more annoying for you to take it off and reload it into a canister for your weapons.
I'm gonna have to go consolidate these charges.
Yeah, they seem to have been split up for her guns, which you can see are 2 revolvers on her hips.
So you're telling me she's gonna have 2 shots?
She'll have 12 before she has to reload.
Okay, great.
But they're strong. They're good. They're good bullets. Anyway, you guys.
If they're the same bullets that go into your big gun, then they're very good bullets. This
That's
child
true.
is strapped.
I don't think they're bullets. I think it's energy.
Whatever,
Whatever
man.
it is,
She
with
says.
anything that goes into your very big gun. Like
Big
if it's
gun
the
time.
same size.
It does give your that basically that ammo belt gives your gun what 4 more shots because it takes 5 charges per shot or something like
so.
that. So yeah,
I think so.
Mm.
That's 4 more dead things, probably.
I'll say if it's not a dead thing after one of those shots, it's a different worry.
Yeah, Arl will then shoot them 34 times.
And Cola will punch them.
Yeah,
With his
twice,
robot
and that's
arms.
it.
Cola still hasn't gotten to punch anything twice.
Yeah,
They'll
you
force
folks
field their ass.
are, I mean, flying through space. We've talked a lot about these journeys and how they are mostly quiet and lots of alone time.
Especially when there's no side quests to be given.
Yeah, for sure. You're a couple weeks into the space flight. I think this is the longest space flight that you folks have had so far. Cola, is it the longest? I mean, we're 2 weeks into a space flight. Is it the longest space flight that Cola has had?
I think Cola's longest space flight was 3 weeks. So this is the longest space flight, but if we're at 2 weeks, we're not there yet. He is sort of puttering about the ship, and like if alone time is sort of the vibe that the rest of the party has created, he's interrupting that a little bit by just sort of poking his head into doors and just being like, "So I don't know what we're supposed to be doing.
What do you mean?
Like this is 2 months of our lives. Like
Yeah.
Pick up a hobby, dude.
Yeah. What were you gonna do otherwise?
knitting.
what hobby?"
There. I was gonna say there's a box of yarn that they also brought onto the ship if you want to knit.
Do you want to play a board game? I've got some of those under my bunk.
No, Cola's gonna take up knitting
Okay.
for sure.
Oh, that's fine.
Can I roll
It
to
might be
represent?
hard for you two-handers, but you'll get the hang of it.
I'll just play solitaire, I guess.
Yeah, you can, of course. I think that would be because it doesn't fall under anything else, defy danger, I'd imagine. Dexterity? Acting...
Or
it's
intelligence?
intelligence. Yeah, that
I mean, it was
feels...
dexterous
That's
thing.
fine, yeah. 'Cause it's not acting quick.
It's a 5. So
So it doesn't start good,
I
but
get
that's okay.
experience and I am in danger.
You get all
I did not defy the danger.
You get all tangled up in the yarn, and it's you know, I'll tell you, it's a social danger. It's not a physical danger.
Yeah, Slippy laughs at
You embarrass yourself for sure.
I'm tangled up in the yarn for like 2 days.
This is the second most embarrassing thing I've ever seen involving you.
Yeah, he's really good at that. How
Still only
does
number 2 though.
Yeah, Carl, it seems like, and Cola are doing some knitting. How does the crew deal sort of with the long expanse of space boredom?
Slippy writes poetry. It's not very good.
Hmm. I would like just a taste of Slippy's poetry.
Carissa, shall I compare thee to a summer's afternoon with flip-flops flipping and my frog flops flopping? Where have you gone?
Flip flop, flip flop.
Flip-flop, flip-flop.
I
Incredible.
think that's a Randy Newman song.
I think that's a Randy Newman. No, it's a Slippy
Flip-flop by Randy
Tombleson
Newman.
poem.
I think BBW felt something.
Flop, saw her arms drop.
Apple bottom jeans. What about
Flips with the
BBW?
flop.
Flips with the flops.
Really hibernating.
Hibernating. I was curious if space boredom would affect the robot, or if he would just like turn off if there was nothing to do.
Definitely, because
I'm bored. Boo, 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 boo.
no birthday
Nice
here.
word, death time.
No birthday cake.
We're gonna hibernate until Lily's birthday.
Lucy's birthday is coming up after this couple weeks. It's still a couple weeks out, but it is coming soon. The days stretch on. It's just lonely out here. There's nothing to really look at outside of the ship, save the blackness of space and the peppering of stars. It isn't until the start the start of your third week. There is a blip finally on the radar. I'll say that Cola, you're up in the bridge at this point. You're alone. There is a blip just at the end of your radar. That's a decently large blip. Gives you the info of, or like the idea of a ship. It doesn't seem to be moving. It just is. As you are moving towards it, it is getting that much closer to you. It's not getting, closer to you in conjunction with its speed. As it gets a few, spaces onto the radar, there's 2 more blips behind it that appear. And then a larger blip that appears beyond those, and a bunch of these blips that appear. And
Cola gets on the intercom. By like the 4th blip, Cola's like, "Hey, everybody, something's happening. There's ships on the screen here."
You hear Slippy yell from down the hallway, "Who put that
Over.
guy in charge?"
Not
Slippy
me.
comes into the bridge.
by the time that Slippy comes into the bridge and Hyatt's pointing out to the radar, you can see a pretty large spread of ships on your radar.
Could I discern realities with some scans?
Yeah, why
Does the
not?
ship how are our sensors looking?
You guys, the one thing we upgraded at one point was the sensors, so I say why not?
Good.
And the speed, I think, too, but that feels less important here.
Might come up soon though.
Discern realities is wisdom, which I have none of. Do we have enough sensors to be a bonus or just not a negative?
Just that
rolled
you'll be
an-
able to get info from it.
Okay. Rolled an 11.
Oh, great. That sounds fantastic.
Like info.
Yeah,
let's get some knowledge.
You tweak the sensors a little bit, and I'll say, well, okay, yeah. What's these questions? Which question are we after?
Let's start with what should I be on the lookout for? Making a closer inspection of these ships. What am I noticing about these shapes on the sensors?
They range in size from like as large as the back, or like the delta that you came from, to smaller than your ship, like, maybe like a 2-person cruiser. Huge range of size here. There's 2 of the ships on your radar that are the size of the delta, and then just random amounts of the rest of the ships. They are all still. The only movement is closer to you as you guys are moving closer to them, which I'd imagine at this point, since we're talking about it, has stopped. Like, you guys have pulled the gas back. Like, you're not just gonna keep rushing at them.
I don't want to go straight at this.
But all of these are stationary. They are only giving you the information that they are there and not that they are on or moving or doing anything else. But in looking at them, you do see one. You see one little blip. It kind of seems, in the way that you catch it, it kind of blips onto your radar and is moving in between two of these medium-sized ships, ships that are slightly larger than your ships. And it phases like in and out of your radar a little bit. You know that there is something moving in there, and it's got some cloaking technologies.
Oh.
It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where it's at. That's what you should be on the lookout for.
I'm gonna go man the gun that we have on the ship somewhere.
Yeah, you guys got a gun?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get on that.
For sure,
Just in case. Just in case.
Second question, what here is not what it appears to be?
A lot of this work with the radar is fine tuning work. You have many knobs that are like different layers of like spatial recognition. So you're trying to like fine tune these knobs to the right frequency to give you the best detail on the screen. And it doesn't stay on for too long. It's a really hard frequency to hit with how many ships and their levels out there. But you hit it at one point in which you get a sense that this is seemingly they're kind of spaced, in and about each other, but they're both like a large group of one set of ships on one side are all facing towards the Delta station, and the like one of the Delta stations, and the rest of the ships are facing towards the other Delta station. You get a sense that this is two groups. That maybe this was a battle at some point, but like I said, that frequency is like in and out on your thing, so it's just a blip that you see sort of directional facing of these ships from where you guys are at out here. But it seems like at some point, yeah, like two groups came into combat.
And just so I'm clear, this is not our destination. This is a thing that we've found.
This is just a thing you've come across. The first thing you've come across in 3 weeks.
Final question. What here is useful or valuable to me?
You throw on, there's an excess layer, I'll say, from the improved sensors that you got that is good at scanning out different mechanical readouts. It'll give you readouts just of the varied mechanical stuff, and using that and BBW's knowledge, you're able to sort of parse a lot of these signals. And you can see that certainly in the big Delta stations, these exist as well, but also in some of these outlier sort of medium-sized ships that your ship could still dock on. There are sensors and readings more of high-value mechanical parts.
Oh.
You can't really quite tell like what they are from this. They could be ship parts. They could be... Maybe it's something on the ship that's giving this higher readout, but you're getting a readout from a couple. I'll say like one in particular. It's not the very first ship, but like one of the second ships in. There's a readout coming back from that ship of some high mechanical parts.
These ships that we're getting this readout from, are they nearby where we were getting the readout of the cloaked ship?
Not super close. Into the field of ships, but not super close.
So what's the plan? Where are we headed?
You took the words right out of my mouth. If we were to, here's a question, because we're not headed back to the Delta station. If we were to get a hold of these parts, whatever they are, would we ourselves, the 5 of us, be able to install them on our ship, or like better our experience in any way with them, or would we just be waiting to sell them later?
That is entirely dependent as to what it is. If it's a new ship engine, maybe if you guys could get your ship to the Delta, like one of those bigger Delta stations, and they have a working area where you could do this. If it's something of that size, you would probably need something of the size of the Delta station to do the work. But if it's like a new ship gun, I'd imagine that your engineer could put something together. He doesn't necessarily have this experience, but using Carl worked on the ship at some point with the engineers, at least in the engine room, doing some checkup stuff.
Warp drives for dummies at one point, for sure.
Yep, Slippy probably picked up something. Like, I think you guys could hodgepodge together the info enough to say like it works. And like I said, if it's like a bigger thing, you have possibly access to do that, but it would require then, more steps to get that going, but not that you couldn't.
All right, so we can do this. Do we want to do this? We want to go down into the ships and see.
Systems online. How many birthday cakes am I preparing for that?
Let's do a scan for life, because I mean, if it's just sitting out here, we could use
Right.
it for the future of our new civilization that we're starting. So,
Might not even need
Could
cake.
be
So true.
a good secret halfway point.
what if it's a big
It's
water
like a
purifier?
spaceship.
Big water purifier. Lucy says, what if it's another gun? We could always use more guns.
Yeah, what if it's another big gun?
Lucy, guns are bad.
She's like cleaning one of her revolvers, her space revolvers.
I vote yes.
Sure, why not?
All right, let's do it.
BBW is down.
Your engine kicks back into forward motion, and your ship begins approaching the sort of nest of ships on the radar. As you can finally see the first one out in the darkness of space in front of you, it is a sort of a broken hull of a ship, large enough for you to dock on, but you get the sense that these medium-sized ships maybe could hold like 3 of your ships, and that's about it. They're more for large scale transportation, or in this case, battle, as you can see just like huge chunks missing from pieces of this ship. And beyond that, there's 2 ships that seemingly have like crashed into one another and are floating, listlessly behind it. And that is sort of the scene that comes out of the blackness in front of you, is just ship after ship, sort of like a ship graveyard, really. An old battlefield in space that seemingly it doesn't, I mean, from your point of view and what you're seeing on the radars, it doesn't seem like either side won. It just seems like they are left out here to, I'm not even going to say rust, because they won't, but rot, I guess. They won't do that either, but whatever. To drift, there it is. You zoom up towards the first ship with this readout on it. Is one of these medium-sized ships, enough to maybe, like I said, store your ship and 2 other ships, if just to give it size. Its docking bays are open. It is floating at a vertical degree, though. It is not like a flat float. It is floating like
T-posing.
yeah, it's floating at a vertical alignment.
Really quick, Cola, you need to teach Lucy how to read the radar, because she's not coming on the ship. But we know that there was a ship, so we need someone to watch out for the ship.
She's like, oh no, I picked it up, check it out. And she like almost shoulders Cola to the side and starts futzing with the dials. Oh. She's like, I watched him all the way up here. And you see, I'm going to say that she fine tunes the dials, and you immediately see those directional angles crop up on all the bits. And she's like, I think he had it here at some point. You can see like which way the ships are all facing.
All right, excellent. You've been promoted.
To what?
Dial Wrangler.
Dial Wrangler. All right. I'll wrangle these dials. So is there something that you want me to do here, Slippy?
Yeah, watch out for the ship that we saw on the radar earlier.
I'll keep
cloaking ship.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out. How can I tell you guys when I find it, though?
I'll give you my walkie-talkie.
Sick. She takes your walkie-talkie.
But don't lose it.
I'll do my best.
Uh-oh.
I haven't lost like anything else in this adventure.
Lucy, let's be confident.
I've been overly confident coming into this.
Do it more overly.
Okay.
I'm really nervous about this whole thing, and I want it to go well, so I could just use a little bit of moral support.
Hey, I'm here. You should bounce off of my energy, because I'm not nervous at all.
Okay. Thanks. And he leaves.
You guys pull your ship into the docking bay of that ship? Is that the play here?
I've got a move I can use. So we're pulling into the docking bay, and Cola says, all right, the way I see it, we've got a lot of ship to search for these parts that might help us out. BBW, I think if we can get you to some sort of computer terminal of theirs, maybe we can patch into their ancient systems and see what the deal is, get a map, see if we can find those parts. Slippy and Carl, I'm counting on you to to be aware of all the things. Maybe there's booby traps. I don't know. I'll be here
As
in
long as
case
there's
of
something
punching.
to shoot, I'll be happy.
I feel very similarly, except with my fists.
You have guns in
And
your
I'm gonna
fists?
maybe I used
Oh.
to. They were more like snap bracelets.
Huh?
Huh?
I've got a move called Knowledge is Power. When I attempt to control a situation by issuing orders or commands, roll plus charisma. And if I roll well, everyone gets a bonus if they do the thing I say.
Oh, sick.
Oh man, I can't wait to get a bonus to being aware of all of the stuff.
All the things.
That's a 9. They still get the bonus, but you expose yourself to danger. Okay, so everyone gets a +1 to following my orders, but I am exposed to danger.
All right, those orders are BBW looking for a computer
Patch
to
into
like.
their get a map with find the computer and see based on their intel where the parts would be, so we can just go right there and get the parts. Slippy and Carl, keep a lookout, shoot on sight. I'm here for punches.
All right, all right. You can't give
Yeah, I
yourself an
heard-
order, but everyone else is for sure ordered to do just that.
I heard be aware of all of the stuff,
Yep.
so I'm gonna get a bonus to that.
All right, yeah, keep a lookout.
That sounds perfect. So your ship pulls into the docking bay. It has to, when it comes to rest, flat on the wall where there's like a door that goes deeper into the ship, just sort of going down below you. Because again, this whole thing is like vertically aligned. You space suit up the ones that need to breathe and trek out into the hull of the ship. Out in here, in this docking bay, I think that moving some old opened and emptied crates aside, you find a busted up, not unpowered, but powered off set of screens, BBW.
Whoa. So that was easy. I'm gonna start plugging my things into it. I'll first do a little scan for life forms.
Yeah, it feels to me like this would be discern realities, but you'd get a +1 you from Gabe's command.
Well, that's a 6.
Oh no. The only file you're able to really pull off of it, you can't even really get the screens up and running. You're able to just download a file that is only partially broken, and it is the map of the ship. That you're in the docking bay. In the very back of the ship, down an access hall for easy transport, is the storage bay. That
I'm
to
gonna print out
me,
this little
yeah.
handout that through my toaster. I want to hand it to Mr. Cola.
Smells of toast. It's a map of the ship.
Toast map.
Well, it's a little burnt. Sorry. It's all
That's
I can
okay. I
get.
like my maps crispy.
Am I able to read this map to follow it to the treasure?
Yeah, I mean, you're able to read it to follow it. I'd imagine to the storage bay would be the best shot. You have a map
Sounds like a
of the
good starting
ship.
point.
Is there anywhere else on the ship that Cola would think of going if he sees this map of the ship? Would it be the bridge, the armory?
R&D and storage would probably be like the research bay. Anybody else have any things they'd want to?
I mean, we could always take
If
the
they've
trip to
got
the armory. These guys were clearly actively fighting. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of stuff there, but could be something.
To the armory, the research, or the storage bay?
Whatever's closest.
The storage bay, I'll say, is the easiest to get to because there's a straight hallway that cuts beyond, sort of underneath the rest of the hallways to the storage bay, and then you can kind of go out from there. So maybe just as like a clean sweep, you go down the long tunnel towards the storage bay. It's actually straight down from our alignment on the ship. You find the door in the floor. It gets you like 5 feet beneath the floor into a duct space, wide enough for a cart, but not super tall. It just is a straight line down the length of the rest of the ship to a large room. When it comes up a little ramp, and then the door opens up into a room maybe just large enough to fit your ship, but it is lined with storage shelves. I mean, most of the shelves are in disarray. The boxes are all sort of piled up down on the bottom of the ship. I guess floating a little bit, but it looks like before the gravity turned off, it got into this vertical position.
Let's search them, or maybe look for traps.
Yes, let me do. I have a bad feeling about this. And Slippy gets a 12, which means I think I get all 3. Is there a trap here? If so, what activates it?
What's our sort of group pathing like with with Cola on our team? Like, what's our group organization as we move throughout the ship? Is it like Slippy in front?
I think Slippy's probably in front because he can't be surprised. He's wired right now.
Cola tries to sort of stick by Carl, whatever side Carl is not trained on. Cola is sort of watching the other side.
BBW is going to stick with Hayek Cola.
Mm-hmm. So Slippy in front, and it seems like the other 3 in sort of a semi-U right behind him.
Yeah.
All right, Slippy, what was your first question?
Is there a trap here? So what activates it?
There doesn't
Here
seem
in
to
this
be a
pile
trap
of
here.
boxes. There we go.
As you enter into this room, there is nothing. I mean, seemingly the ship doesn't have any power, so there would be no traps like that. Really, it's just a pile of boxes.
No bear traps.
No floating bear traps that you haven't.
Bear traps in space would be terrifying.
Just set out a bunch of bear traps and let them go.
Well, then the second one doesn't matter. And what else is hidden here?
Slippy floats down to the group of boxes and begins digging through them. While Slippy is digging through the boxes, what are the other 3 of you doing?
Cola's checking the route to the next objective.
Yeah, it's up a small set of stairs and through. Now we're getting into much more like hallways through the ships. Right now you're in the back of the ship. You're going to pass through what is probably left of the engine room before you get into the more broken off hallways to places like the bedrooms, the like meeting rooms, combat, armory, etc., R&D. But you begin planning out that route. BBW Carl?
BBW is going to, like, at first try to check the map with Hayek Cola, but he's going to instead go off to the ceiling and look for some security cameras.
Carl's just gonna kind of keep an eye out for any movement in case something is out and about. Like, he's, I think, focused more on watching for movement than doing any specific task.
All right. Slippy is digging through the boxes. BBW has his eyes out for security cameras, which he does see in the top of this room above the door that cuts into the ship that Hayakola has pointed out as the next route of ingress. There is a security camera. And using your knowledge, I mean, you know that the security cameras would all be connected. So if you can access this one, maybe you can access the rest. And Carl, eyes trained. Slippy, you're digging through the boxes. Most of these boxes are of food, which I guess if food is just exposed to space, it is still just fine if it wasn't crushed. I'm going to say you find some food. Less food than you would think. It looks like some of this has maybe been gone through in the past. Most of these boxes are smashed open or whatever was in them. Maybe there's some blankets, there's pillows, there's just general stock things. I'm going to say what you do find, Slippy, near the bottom, you've dug your way down, realizing that this top layer has been at least gone through, at least the top layer. You dig down to the bottom layer. You find a case of medical supplies. These are pretty high grade medical supplies. One specific piece that you haven't had on your ship. It's more of a med kit, less of something to install, but it is just a really high grade medical kit.
Great.
BBW, you have found this security camera. What do you want to do with it?
Tap into it. Want to look around the facility if it's open. Well, if it's online, hopefully.
Yeah.
Different realities.
So you know it's off at the moment.
Oh, I need to power it on then. Let me do operate machines then. That is a 12.
Yeah.
It's the most you can get.
Oh, yep, indeed. Wow.
So the machine will just do?
Yeah.
Or you just do
I
operate
think
it?
Machine go do.
Machine go do.
That
Operate
machine's his
on it,
bitch
make it do the do. Well, maybe.
Yeah, so this whole ship is basically out of power, but you know that just sort of plugging yourself in to be the power source for just these cameras isn't going to like drain you or anything like that, but it does just sort of make this flow of power turn on. And it does turn on. The screens, the cameras are all a little fuzzy and glitchy at first as they are beginning to wind up and cycle together. And you begin scanning throughout the ship. Carl, give me a defy danger wisdom.
Oh, great. Arl is so very wise. 11.
Hey.
Oh, sick. And you also technically, because you're keeping a lookout, would have a +1 from Gabe's order, so that's good. But 12 even. Carl, you notice literally what you're looking out for. Movement on the ship. You notice a flash of movement from the tunnel that you guys just came from. Little black blob moves in and out of sight. Like the only reason you're sure you saw something is because you were looking for movement, right?
Confirmed movement on the ship.
And it seems
Yeah,
like
moving
whatever it
around a lot.
was going back into the tunnel
Confirmed
that
not
you
us
guys came
movement on
down.
the
Yeah.
Oh
ship.
no.
And BBW, as Carl is confirming this, you're flicking through security camera footage just to like get a layout of the ship. And at some point, as you like flick, one to the other, on that second one in the middle, you see a little shape move into a set of cupboards, and you flip back, and it's just a still image. And then you keep flicking and you see a couple more little shapes scurry along the floor and move down and out a doorway. And
It's late.
What?
It's late. It's running around really fast.
Oh, well.
Where is it running? Where is it?
You better catch
Uh,
it.
it feels like a defy danger intelligence to keep up with what you're seeing on this computer
You
screen.
can't celebrate their birthday without catching them.
That's
It's an
true.
11 from me.
You're flipping through these fast enough now, looking for these little moving shapes. You don't get a sense that it's one going somewhere. You get a sense that there's a bunch of them on the ship. And at some point, you find just the right camera. That is, we'll say on the bridge, the opposite side of the ship from you. Right in front of the camera is this little wiggly body with these spindly arms coming out of it that you can see grip the wall and push off the wall and zoom through the space. It's like a little spindly worm body with a rotary mouth in front and a bunch of little spindly arms to grip and push. You see that image, and then it like basically uses the camera to push off of and zip out of sight.
It looks like there's not one of them anymore. There's more.
Two? Are there two? Are there just two? I can deal with two. I can shoot at least two.
Hey guys,
How
do you think there's
about-
more than one
Like a
creation
bunch.
around?
Oh,
I don't want to follow that train of thought.
I don't
We
know
can think
that.
about that shit later.
At least from BBW's point of view, look nothing like the creation blobbles.
Are
Oh,
they
goodness,
near
are we-
us?
are
Are they
we in
coming
any
our
danger?
way?
I mean, at the moment, none of them seem to be coming your way. Carl saw one nearby, but he saw it zip back into the tunnel you guys came out of, leaving, say, the storage room.
We do have one distinct advantage. We cannot be surprised.
Yeah, but Lucy can. Slippy pulls out his radio. Hey, Lucy. He doesn't. He pulls out he pulls out Carl's radio.
He's the only one. He swims across this space and pulls out Carl's radio.
And he says, Lucy, this is the S-Man. How's the radar looking over there? Over.
Radar's looking good. Good, boss man. I don't know. No, I haven't been able to find that ship again. Been on the lookout for it.
Lucy, I can't tell if you're done with the radio unless you say over.
Over.
Thank you, over. Just kidding, not over. Hey, Lucy, could I get you to redirect a scan to the ship? We are currently in the storage area. See if your skin pings you back anything elsewhere in the ship.
It isn't but a few moments before she says, I don't know. Looking over the ship, it looks fine. I see little bit of blips in the back of the ship. I'm imagining that's you guys. 4 distinct signs of life in the back of the ship.
And nothing else anywhere?
Sorry, I didn't say over. Give me just a second. No, not that I'm seeing.
Well, since
All
we don't
right.
detect anything, but we know that something is around via the camera situation, I say should we blow this ship up? Because we can't blow up our own ship, but this ship might need to be blown up.
Is everything else on our journey further into the ship, like further away from our ship?
It's not necessarily further away from your ship. It's just going to take you longer to get back to your ship. Right now, you have one straight hallway that cuts across the ship to the bay. But once you go into this more network of hallways, it's going to be like, running down hallways and turning and getting through a door and, to get back to your ship. The distance might be shorter, but it will take you longer. I do see another readout, high quality, sort of high tech readout coming from the research bay. And looking on your map, you know that is like 2/3 of the way through the ship, in between like the middle of the ship and the bridge at the front of the ship.
And this is only a medium-sized ship, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do we think, gang?
Okay. Well, pros, I do want to try and grab the shiny thing. Anytime that a thing is dangled in front of me, I do want to go and get it.
I like loot.
You said side quest. We wanted a side quest.
I took somebody's shoes one time.
The only time that characters have died has been on these sorts of missions.
On a side quest.
Cola's down.
Hey, Cola doesn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly, I think we need all the things that we can get, and I'm feeling pretty confident because I can shoot something once really hard, and our combat officer can shoot a bunch of things all at once. So we could take a pretty good number of things on, and it's only a medium-sized ship. How many things could be on this ship?
True.
I could take a pretty substantial thing on.
Arl lets
Just
out
one,
a
though.
really exasperated sigh that we're heading deeper into the ship and whispers, "Son of a bitch," under his breath, which his gun hears and doesn't like, and it locks up.
Fuck.
I don't say anything to either of them, just get stick out.
Get the stick out.
I feel like using this one today.
The gun whispers back, "No, you," and locks up.
The ammo display reads "No, you."
Yeah, you folks prep up to head through the door, and it's dark back here. None of the lights are on the ship, so I guess it's been dark no matter what. You guys are using like headlamps on your suits to climb your way up through the ship. There are open doors along the way leading to living quarters, all of which I'll say are trashed. You find a small dining area, also trash. None of the food that you found in the storage space is present in this dining area. It seems like this area has been clean picked over. Everyone give me Defy Danger Wisdom. That's what I've been using as perception as we go through this ship.
I got 7. Oh no. 7. Is it Defy Danger?
Yes, Defy Danger Wisdom.
Okay.
7 from BBW.
5 from Slippy, but he's not surprised.
4.
5 also from Cola.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with my gun right now. Okay.
4, 5, 5, 7. Oh God. You folks enter into a room that is like a big meeting room. One door on one side that you're entering from, and there are 2 other doors. One that from your map leads out to a better access hall, like a wider more straighter access hall that eventually also connects off to the ship bay. And then there's another one that leads through more sort of personal hallways, but is a little bit zippy through the ship to the research center. And you're debating on which path to take. BBW in this meeting room floats up to check on more of the cameras, and you folks are in here for just a few moments while BBW is going over these things and going over the images in there. And Slippy begins digging around through a low set of cabinets, and he opens up one of the cabinets and ducks his head out to the side as one of these creatures zips out of the cabinet and up past his head. And everyone is kind of shocked by this as they turn around to see this little slightly screeching creature zip out and straight across the room, right? They only really move in straight lines until they hit a wall. And
screeching, there's no air in here. Oh no.
Yeah, whatever. And Slippy not surprised as 4 more of them also zip out, and he moves to the side as these other 4 zip out of this group of cabinets. And now there's these 5 things that all hit the ceiling and then lock their little spindly arms into the ceiling and are scanning the 5 of you. They're all about the size of maybe like a football. They all hit the top of the ceiling and immediately they lock in and then disperse. They all kick off in different directions. I'm going to say 1 at Slippy because he's not surprised, I guess, and 2 at Carl, 2 at Cola. And they're just coming right at you.
I'm gonna shoot it.
BBW, with your 7, I'll say that because this like the way that this system is cycling with your power in it, while you're doing this, you have no idea what's happening in the room. So you're cycling through these images to see just really what's going on. So I think the negative for you is you have no idea of the danger at the moment.
I got
I
a
wonder
10
where
for
all
my
those things
shoot.
went.
You got
I think we're safe, guys.
I think we're
10
safe,
for my
guys. He
volley.
says out loud.
I think we're safe. Bang.
You got a 10 for your volley. Is this with your big gun?
hmm
Jesus.
I don't use a small gun anymore.
I mean, the wave of force just sort of rips out from this gun. You all sort of feel it in your space. Roll damage.
9 damage.
It fires out across the room around your allies. It hits some walls and puts itself in them. It worked out this time, but that especially in this sort of alignment is not ideal for firing this big gun. Carl,
I don't ricochet and kill multiple.
no. But you
Oh, that would be
also
cool.
don't ricochet and hurt your allies. If it could hurt multiple, it'll also hurt your allies.
I did say kill multiple. I didn't say who.
Cola Carl, you got each 2 coming at you.
I would like to stab one.
Yeah, I guess I'll also punch one.
3. Well, 4, 5 with strength.
11.
Okay.
Maybe you should be the damn combat specialist, Mr. Fisticuffs.
I'm only the punch specialist. Don't give me one of those guns.
Holds the gun backwards. Is this how you shoot it? It just does not understand gun.
Gun unlocks at that moment.
Yeah, Cola, the 2 coming at you, you are able to, let's say, you punch out forward with your 11 and you smash the first one coming in. Wait, how much damage did you do?
10 damage.
Yeah, the smash is the word for sure. Smash the one coming in first and then drop your elbow back and knock the second one away from its direct descent at you, or sort of progression at you. And it knocks into the wall and preps its next sort of rebound into you. Carl, you strike out your stick forward to try to pierce the first one, and its limbs wrap around the front of your stick and push off to the side. Like it just basically parries. And the other one is going to ram directly into your suit and deal 3 points of damage. As it smashes into your suit. It more feels like a punch.
Through armor?
Not through armor.
Through
So
armor.
probably 0 damage. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that tickled, buddy.
It more feels like, punch. It throws you sort of off space, but it goes straight through, hits the wall, and begins prepping for a rebound. In this moment, now they're sort of flying all sorts of which ways around the room. There's 3 remaining. The one that rebounded off your stick, Carl, the 3 of you can see is flying straight at BBW, who is on this camera.
I can't believe they just disappeared like that.
Slippy's gonna shoot one with a grappling hook. This is the first time I've brandished it.
Yeah,
Let me
awesome.
throw it out into space.
I just associated that item with Gabe, the
That's a
player.
9. Yeah, because he took it and never used it.
That's a 9. I think worse outcome. You're firing at the one that's flying at BBW, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
I think worse outcome here. You literally, it doesn't really see it coming, but it's no damage. It just sort of knocks into it and bounces it off of trajectory, and now it's flying straight at a wall and basically ready to
I
rebound.
start reeling the grappling hook in.
I'm going to say this one rebounds right back off that wall at you, Slippy. Carl and Cola, you each have one that have rebounded, and they're coming back at each of you.
Punch mine a second time.
BBW, give me a Defy Danger Wisdom for perception on these cameras.
No worries. That's a 8.
Okay, still fully locked in here, so no sort of presence of the room, but you do notice that in the bridge, which is the closest sort of large room to the research bay in the ship, from your scanning and looking at the map, you are peeking around a little more carefully now, looking for more evidence of these things. It's darker in here than it should be, and it's taking you a moment to realize just why it's darker in here. And that is because, again, ship vertically up, the window of the bridge would be the front of the ship. That is entirely blacked out, and you just realize that there's no stars coming through that window. And that is because hanging like bats on every available open space of this window are just a crowd of these football-sized little spindly worms. They aren't moving. They are just sort of like they're almost all sleeping, right?
Hey guys, gotta go.
Slippy turns around and starts.
This is in the
Going back the way he
bridge.
came.
It is the closest
okay.
big room to the research bay where you guys are heading.
Oh,
We're heading.
Where you were heading. Where Slippy was heading. But yes, Carl, Slippy, Cola, you all have one of these things zooming directly at you.
I'm just gonna try and hit it with I'm gonna pistol whip it with the grappling hook.
Okay, cool.
Melee attack it. That is a 7.
A 7?
I also got an 8 on my punch attack.
Okay.
I deal damage, but they get to attack me as well.
Okay.
I do 3 damage.
Cola, you got an 8. What's your damage?
Got a roll. With my second attack, I get to roll 3 damage dice.
This is not against the same creature though, right? It would be against the first creature you blew up with your first punch.
Okay, well then without the third dice, this would be 10 damage once again.
Yeah, I think it's okay only having, it's a lot of damage. Carl, you have one zooming at you too. I just want to get everything down before I...
Do I still have my stick? It was just
expound.
like parried. Did I drop it?
Yeah, no. You
Anything?
still have your stick. The monster just
Okay.
basically used it to bounce off rather than you hit it.
I'm gonna take a swing at this one then. See if I can bat it right out of the air.
Yeah, and this is the one that...
And that's a 6 with strength. So
Okay.
Carl's marking a lot of experience today.
Slippy, you and Cola, but the same thing is going to happen for the two of you. Both of you like Cola, you punch this one, and Slippy, you pistol whip it, and just directional splatter on these. The splatter comes at you. This time, when the splatter hits you, you start to feel it burns through portions of your suit. And you feel a little bit of damage just flat on skin. That's going to be 2 points of damage through armor. I thought about this as well, and I think that we're past the point of worried about just a single like nick in a suit being the end of a life. I think these suits have the ability, like after this sort of acid seeps through and starts to like, you can feel it. You feel like a cooling mist spray out from the inside of the suit, and the little holes sort of close up. You know that is not infinite. And the suit will need to recharge eventually, but it can do that a few times before it is dangered. And Carl, this one I think is just going to ram into you again as it passes. That will be 4 damage this time, so only 1. It just kind of punches you in the stomach and then uses your stomach to bounce off and fly in a direct line across the room at BBW, who is on the cameras.
I'm going to shoot the one that is flying at BBW again with my grappling hook, because I have at this point reeled it back in. This is a 10. 3 damage.
You fire off the grappling hook as it's the angle here is better, and it just sort of blasts through this thing and impales itself in the wall. The blood going and landing just like loosely on the wall next to BBW. And BBW comes out of the camera and turns to tell you about the group of enemies he's found.
Yeah, we know.
Looks like there may be more than one of these things. And we should probably avoid the bridge.
I think we should just leave. I don't like this at all. I don't even know what these things are.
Hey, what was that slap on the wall next to me?
One of those things.
Yeah, as you're out,
Wow,
as you come out of the camera, you can see little pools of like specks of blood floating in the air. You can see little splats on the wall around your allies.
Oh, I think they might be in this room. Are you guys okay?
Some of them.
Don't get their goop on
There's
you.
less now.
Yeah, I'm less good than I was before.
Oh,
All right, so we're very close to the research bay now.
Yeah, basically
But we
you're
have to go through a room full of these things to get there.
the room full of the things is on the other side of the research bay. You would just be getting close to them in order to go to the research bay.
Okay. I think we've come this far. Let's see. Maybe we see if we can scope it out quietly. Maybe see if there's something we
Okay.
can barricade the door with so
That
they
sounds
can't get
loud.
through. That's true.
I'll do
Maybe
a
just
little bit of
look.
stealth officer action over here. So here I go. I'm gonna do a defy danger to sort of try and discern what the state of the bridge doors and stuff like that is. Like, are these lockable? Are these fully
Could I
open
roll-
already?
This feels like a discern realities rather than a defy danger, right?
I was thinking
I
more
roll-
as far as like the stealth it would take to get over there without making any noise.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Can I roll charisma to give him +1 on that roll?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, like your command?
Yeah.
You.
Don't worry about it.
I won't worry about it then.
It's a 14. Don't worry about it.
But it could be a
Nice.
15.
Oh boy.
Slippy leaves the rest
The
of the
legendary
group
15.
to sneak on up. As you get up in this hallway, both doors are ajar. There's nothing moving about here. Both doors are ajar, though. There's a big door right to your left that leads into a decrepit, busted up research lab, and you can see down the hall. At the end of the hall, the door to the bridge is about halfway open, but it's just like sort of resting at that space.
Slippy comes back and he says, "Yeah, so the bridge door is just sort of open. So if we make really any noise at all to attract these things, we're probably going to be really screwed. Maybe we look and see if there's any doors near here on the way back to the ship that we could barricade, should we need to. Because then we could maybe take the thing and get the thing as far as we can quickly and then hit a barricade and then a little bit more, take our time a little bit more getting it loaded."
Yeah, I think looking over the map and then just, peeking about what hallways are like right outside. Since all the doors sort of slide into the wall, it's less about stopping it from opening in or out or whatever. You do know that much as BBW has been able to access the cams, if he can do what he's done with the cameras, but with just each of these doors on the way back, he might be able to close them as you pass through. And being mechanically closed would buy you a little bit of time, right? They wouldn't just be like loosely floating in their sockets.
Maybe
Okay.
we get BBW set up on a door preemptively before we go and try and do this. That way we can run straight back to BBW if we need to, and he can close the door.
BW, you have sort of a like a digital map of the route we've taken so far. Would you be able to get back to the ship where Lucy is, to that first patch panel?
I did download
Where you
it. I
found-
did give it to you.
Maybe
You didn't
maybe
make
if
a
you can
copy?
get back, maybe if you can get back there, the three of us can go and get this ship bit. If they're not too big, I will go with you, and then I can defend you from footballs, and the two stealthy ones can find this thing and run back, and we can close the doors for them.
This does sound good. I'll keep it loaded up.
Do we know approximately how big this thing is that we're maybe finding? Is our ship parts huge?
This thing could range from just an extremely high-tech bracelet to a slightly high-tech ship part, right? Like it's giving just a high readout. You don't know how big it is, what it is, or what. And that's sort of the case across this sort of whole field. Like you find these readouts in these ships and you don't really know what the readout is. You just know you're getting a readout. So in this, if it was a big, like, again, if it's like a ship engine, it's going to require probably more than the four of you to lift out of this research bay. If it's a gun, then you walk out with it,
Your call, BBW. Do you want me to go with you for football defense, or go with them to maybe help with lifting things?
You should go with them. I'll be able to take care of
All
myself.
right.
Plus he's got Lucy.
It's
True, I
true.
forgot about
It's a
this.
dream team, honestly. I'd watch that spin-off show for sure.
It doesn't weigh anything. We're in space.
The radios buzz up and Lucy says, guys, there's a few things moving around the ship. I think yeah, Yeah, there's a few things floating outside the ship. They keep. I keep hearing them dinging into the outside of the ship. It's making me a little uncomfortable out here. Should I go out and take care of them?
No, definitely not. We're
Absolutely
sitting
not.
BBW.
Okay, I'll wait for BBW and then we'll take care of them together. And you hear the clicking of her revolver loading. She says over. BBW treks off towards the ship, and Carl, Cola, and Slippy trek off towards the research portion of the station. BBW, you know the path back, and I think from this room, it's actually pretty easy. It's right out into the main hall, down a little bit, and through a door that is already ajar as you approach it. As you peer through the door, you can see the opening in the side of the ship. You can see a few of these football-sized, like I said, spindly little worm things on the outside of your ship. They're like wiggling. They're on the window of the ship, and they just have their arms sort of planted on the glass, and they're wiggling there. You can't quite tell what they're doing, but it doesn't. I don't think you want them on your ship.
Probably not. So does the door have a sort of panel I can access, or is it just kind of I need to tap into it?
Yeah,
I
it's
can
got a
probably
panel you can access.
Probably. So I want to tap into it then with my control of the machines, operating machines.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna try to give it some power, so I'm gonna be able to close it.
Oh, behind your team, yeah. Okay, as they run in, for sure.
That is a 7. So the operation runs, but one of the following happens. Afterwards, the machines drain the power, the operation scrambles my machines, or I draw unwelcome attention.
Oh, okay, yeah. Operate machines is to use your spells specifically. I think Command of Robots is the one I've been thinking about, because it's the one where you're like basically parlaying with the robot. What is the mid ground for Command of Robots?
I can parlay with the robot machine by offering it data, power, or proper usage, no matter what level of intelligence.
I mean, you know that it'll work. You're just going to have to supply some power. And I think the last way we did it, I like that. And that is just like raw life from you. Basically, you're going to have to give it 2 health points in order for you to be able to just give it power.
All right.
So this door is functional and connected to the rest of the systems in the ship. You know that there's that computer on the other side of this room beyond your ship from where the door is right now that you're at, that you'd be able to access the cameras and this door at the same time. So you could like see your allies running down the hall and keep up with them if you wanted to overwatch. But you'll have to bypass your ship, which has all these creatures on it.
I think I want to stand by the door for now. And I think like momentarily I could probably sneak on over to that computer. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stay flat for now.
You're overwatching at least this situation. Carl, Cola, Slippy, moving through the halls quietly. You make your way up to the same point in which Slippy had made his way to, and that is to your left. There's a large door that leads to the research center, all sort of busted to shit, machines in all sort of states of disarray. And in front of you, there's a half-open door that leads to the bridge that you know houses the sort of crowd of these football worms.
Slippy points at the bridge and he says, he doesn't say anything, but he holds up his hands at a big X. Not a big red X, but a regular X with his arm.
His arms turned red. And he's like,
And then he points towards the R&D and he sort of floats on over.
Yeah, Cola follows.
Into R&D, this room is in a bit more disarray than like the storage room was. There are tables and broken parts of machinery floating all which ways. Upon first inspection of this room, this just looks like a busted to shit room.
Yeah, Slippy has a bad feeling about this, so he's going to use his roll to do that thing. 10. Is there a trap here? If so, what activates it? Looking for traps.
You peek around the room. You see a device floating in one portion of the room that seems to be off, but you've seen maybe in your bypassing of the research station aboard the Delta, you've seen these things, and these things are proximity mines, basically. There's just one proximity mine floating in the corner of the room. It could just be floating there, but if it's on, would be bad.
Well, that answers my second question,
Yeah.
which is, what does the trap do when activated?
That.
I know what that does.
It does what a proximity
Uh,
mine does.
What else is hidden here?
You're pointing out things in the room that you think are most appealing, but you don't really know what a lot of this stuff is. And I don't think that any of you three are really super well versed with technology. Cola maybe the most so. The first couple things you point out, Cola shakes his head, either no, it's broken, or no, it's literally nothing. But one of the things that you point out is a small box. It has this sort of black covered hole in it. It seems to be about as long as like your forearm, maybe. When you point that out to Cola, Cola is given a slight start, as this is a pretty rare, pretty expensive piece of machinery that who knows if it's working now, but if working, can be used to perform like on the field for Cola specifically, like biomechanical switch outs. But for others could like also provide like the creation of cyber enhanced limbs.
I could get a cyber arm.
Yeah. You would need to find the input, but this machine can do it.
That's a pretty cool thing.
So you need to find like the files or whatever that is. The
3D
data
print
disk.
files.
Yeah, that's just floating down there in the room. It's only about the size of, like I said, a forearm, but you know, the width of a shoebox maybe.
Slippy goes and picks that up, but he also points at the proximity mine in the corner, and he holds up his arms again in a big X.
I need you to move across this room. I need you to give me a defy danger. I'll give you a +1, and it will be wisdom, I guess.
Would you say this is escaping a dangerous situation?
I just don't know that gooey skin helps you here. That's what I always imagine in your gooey skin case, as if it's, or you're being actually slippy.
Either way, it's 11.
Slippery Slippy. You zip through the room, nimbly sort of using things to propel yourself forward, but not shoving them in any grand form or fashion. And you get across the room in a timely manner and grab this box.
Then I'm just going to start picking up things and showing them across the way, like, no, Slippy, that's an electric toothbrush. No, Slippy, that's a coffee cup.
Yeah, there's nothing really else in here that draws anyone else's attention. Carl, you're on the lookout for like rare tech, and there's nothing in here that seems really along those lines. It's just this one machine that seems in the best order. It isn't in working order when you grab it. It doesn't like turn on or anything, but it
doesn't have files either.
Right. It's not like broken in half. It's not like missing chunks. It seems in one piece. It might need some repairs, but who knows what files are already on it. And you're sifting through some of this mess, sending it up. Some of this mess you uncover a busted up box. And as you sort of move one of the planks aside, I need you to give me a defy danger. I'm gonna give you +1 because you're not surprised, and it will be dexterity, acting fast. 10. You nimbly
+1, 11 even.
You nimbly push up and out of the way. Again, making sure to not affect the main space around you too much. You're not trying to push things back into that mine. As one of
flippies, but all my flippies push things away from the mine in the other direction of the room.
As one of these football worms comes shooting out of that box you've just picked, sort of sifted through, and straight across the room, it bypasses Slippy since he's out of the way. It hits a floating chunk of desk and rebounds directly at Carl.
Catch him.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna catch him.
Defy danger, dexterity, that feels like. Or strength.
I like dexterity better.
Okay, it's acting fast anyway. That's what I thought from the beginning.
9.
Okay, it's only going to be 1 damage anyway, but still take damage, so no damage. As you basically just splay yourself out, and it punches into your main core, and you wrap your limbs around it. Man, an octopus hold is pretty much the worst thing I could imagine. And
bear hug, motherfucker.
Now you have this thing wrapped up in your body just fine. What do you do with it?
Anaconda squeeze.
Ugh.
Oh no, it popped. It's got its liquid blood everywhere.
It just sounds like
As
you're
opposed to its solid blood.
Yeah, it sounds like you just roll damage for me, because you already have it in the. It's not like resisting your. Yeah, just
do it.
roll damage.
Knock it out.
That is 2 damage.
This
I got
thing,
weak little tentacles. I was doing my best.
2 damage, I think, is what you would prefer. You can feel some bones break in it. I guess it's a worm. You feel like a little squish, and then it stops moving inside of you. Yeah, you snap its little worm neck and let it go and just push it across the room.
All right, everyone, let's bounce because this place sucks. I don't even want to go check the other one. What if there's a different kind of demon creature living in there?
BBW, you're standing at this door. It's probably been about
Yep.
5-7 minutes. You waiting for your crew, or do you want to go check out that computer, or do you want to do anything about the monsters on your ship?
Has Lucy already been alerted to this? Does she know?
Your radio buzzes. You quickly turn it down and listen in, and you hear Lucy over the radio. Hey, I'd like to request to maybe take action again. They're trying to burrow their way in through the windshield.
They are indeed trying to do that. I second this motion. Over.
The moment that you speak up, one of them jets off of the windshield and directly at you.
Close the door.
Yeah,
Just for a
you're
second.
there and ready to do that. You just step through the door and press it, and you hear a solid thunk on the outside of that metal door. And
Later, Lucy. I'm on the other side of the door now.
Lucy's like, one of them left, but the 3 of them are still trying to just get their way in. It seems to be holding up now, but they're giving it their all. Should I go out there and take care of them, or just let them do this, or what?
My vote's for yes. Take care of him, Lucy.
All right,
Maybe
guns
we have
up, let's
over
do
touch the
this.
Slippy takes Carl's walkie-talkie again and says,
Lucy, don't go out of the spaceship. Don't do that.
Hold until you see the whites of their eyes.
Oh, over the microphone, you can hear the lowering of the ship's ramp, and she's like, I already saw the whites of their eyes.
Let them in.
I'm not gonna let him in. You hear some steps on the thing, and then
bang, bang.
another raising of the thing. She's like, I'll close it for sure. But I think I should take care of this, guys. They're just digging into the windshield.
BBW, you gotta
please
get
help.
back in there. Gotta distract some footballs.
She needs to decide. She needs to live for her birthday.
Oh, sorry.
Guys,
I've
I
already
think we
closed the
should
door, but-
up the pace from a leisurely stroll to something closer to a jog.
I was thinking the same thing.
Sounds like a good idea.
You guys begin
gonna-
less leisurely pushing yourself through the station. BBW.
Yeah, I'm outside of it right now, right? I can
Yeah,
see
right
it.
outside that door. You've just closed it.
Okay. I'm going to open the door, and then I'm going to try to wiggle my way past this thing back to the ship.
As you
Well,
open the
towards the things on the glass.
Yeah. As you open the door, the thing is already back on the ship. You could see it looks like it just rebounded off the door and went right back towards the ship. You can see Lucy. She's crouched down. She has one of her pistols in both of her hands. She's hiding behind a set of boxes, and she's looking at you and nodding and pointing up at the ship at the windshield.
I nod back to her.
Oh my god.
There is a
Oh,
loud gunshot. It is only slightly quieter than Slippy's sort of blunderbuss that is discharged from her high energy revolver. It fires up and explodes one of them on the windshield. The 3 of you hear this in the hallway. You hear it echo down the hallway and pass you. And I think it's more out of anxiety. You sort of look back like, oh no, did that wake the sleeping beast? And you hear a little bit of rustling down the hall, and all of a sudden you hear ping, 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 coming down the hallway.
Hey, BBW,
And
are you
all
ready
of
with that
these
door?
creatures come bouncing around the corner and down the hall, and it's just sort of this haze of bouncing footballs rushing, almost flowing down the hall at you.
We get ourselves into the thick of things on these side quests.
And we did all of this for an arm. Is that what I understand?
It's a 3D printer for bionic limbs.
Basically, it's gonna allow you to
Okay.
do your stuff on the
Limited
go,
arms.
so it's really good for you.
Yeah,
and for
well, I'm doing
anyone
this for
else,
you.
it has a second function that, with the right files can biomechanically upgrade people's limbs. So like Slippy could put his arm in there and get a biomechanical upgrade implanted into his skin.
And it only costs 1 arm
With the right
Easy.
file. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
No, it
gonna
actually
Not
costs
even
an arm
allowed.
and a leg. You don't get the leg back.
Oh,
That
no.
one's just gone.
that one's just
And then-
gone.
And then the cost for a cyber leg is another leg. So I just
It's
have to
2 cyber legs.
Inflation's a bitch.
You have to bring an extra leg in.
I have to find a leg.
You've got to take apart the first cyber leg for its parts, and then you've got to infuse those parts into the second cyber leg to make the enhanced new double cyber leg.
Double cyber
That's
leg.
just common sense. That's just
Double
common sense.
cyber
Yeah, it's
leg.
just video games.
Basically, the room that cluster needs to do the work on you, Cola, is refined down to a box the size of your forearm.
Slippy has in his backpack.
Yeah, you've seen one of these maybe like once or twice, and they were like on the home base. Like they're rare and high tech and expensive. On that note, it sounds like we got a treasure, so there's no point in asking if we got the treasure or not. We haven't overcome a powerful enemy yet, or a notable enemy yet. We're in
Ran away from one.
the midst of it. Did we learn anything new or important about the universe?
These things exist.
There are football worms, yeah.
Well, honestly, this whole graveyard is interesting because it's. I mean, I don't really have anything other than to say that it's interesting right now, but the fact that 2 Delta Dawn type ships have engaged each other and neither have won, it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
It
weird.
is interesting. This whole
Yeah.
this dead fleet out here, this pair of dead fleets out here does seem interesting.
We've
Maybe those things-
discovered
There's more
something
going on than we thought.
Yeah, why not? We know something's going on. We don't necessarily know what it is, but we've learned something has happened that we never knew about before. So,
Certainly does seem that way.
big ship battle. Who fought and why?
We know not to jump here.
Yeah, that's fair. The ship shouldn't go here. Did anyone get a bond?
No.
No.
Nope.
And is anyone locked up on a bond that is incompletable because we're not going back to like is anyone locked up on like a Mr. Blood or Slippy? Do you have a Carissa bond still?
I do, but it's about the email.
What is it?
What do you mean?
What is the bond?
I want to know. I want to know if she's gonna respond to the email. I want to know of her thoughts. I
Oh
want to
my
know if we're.
God.
It's basically another one of these bonds that just.
Are
end up
we
in the-
on or off again?
Well, are we on or off again?
Oh man, I can see why she might have left. It's a lot of pressure.
Kind of locked up on one. I've got a cluster bond that I haven't fulfilled.
What is that bond?
He's a loyal ally and integral part of the team. In order to further his part of the mission, I must take action to improve his position in society.
I would in fact say that based on the conversation last episode, he
Yeah.
has been given a
he's,
shitload
like,
more
doing a
responsibility.
thing.
You
I
gave
agree
him
with that.
access to your codes and passwords, and so he can. That feels like while the back Atmos star system didn't give him a promotion, you basically gave him a promotion, and now he is working with like the captains on the ship. So
Yeah, Captain.
that feels like he
Alright.
has earned a promotion through working with you, or improved his stance in society. He's definitely
Lord,
no
close.
longer a street informant.
I'm gonna get these 7th level spells. We're gonna see what these are about.
Are they on your sheet? Did I not even make those?
Oh no, I've got 3 of them, and then one that is it just says spell.
Okay, so
Um,
I wasn't okay. Cool. There was another one. I guess I wanted to put in there. I'll have to go back and find.
Yeah, but
I cast spell.
I'm pretty excited about spell.
that.
This is
And
broken.
bonds. Did anyone get a bond?
I've got to make
Not
some
bond.
more bonds.
Alignment is what
Oh, my
I meant
alignment?
to question.
Yeah, I mean it better, shouldn't it?
I mean, it feels like it does. It still could be something that you try to wield, but I don't know why Cola would want to wield that anymore. You know.
No, that's not where we're at. I don't know what other alignment options I have, but that one's not the one.
Kind of breakdown. I think we need to figure out what Cola is feeling about like his purpose at the moment, because that feels like a big portion of alignment. Did anyone else get alignment?
Not this time, no.
Would you say I escaped, avoided detection, or infiltrated a location?
Yes, at one moment you did. You snuck off from the group and you infiltrated further into the ship to like scope it out and then came back undetected. So I'd say so.
Great.
And the detection on your group, really these things didn't even detect you until they got into the same hallway as you.
Sweet.
BBW, what's your bond? Use machines to help those weaker than you? Or those in
Use machines
need?
to help others with no expectation of rewards.
Okay. So not quite that one yet. Carl's is defend those weaker than you. I'm curious if BBW's alignment might have something more to do with parties. Like throw a party for
Maybe.
someone rather than use machines to help those that
do good.
Yeah, rather than
Use
just
machines to throw parties.
yeah.
He has a
machines are
priority,
parties.
and that's seeming like it's it.
Throw a party for someone feels like a huge priority for you. And something
Yeah,
that
I
you
think anytime you successfully throw a party, you should get 1 XP.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that. I
Anytime.
mean, that could be your new alignment then. Anytime you throw a party for someone,
Party alignment.
party alignment. I'm good.
I'm a
I'm
part of the
evil.
party.
I'm party. Yeah, Carl's, yours can change as well because I don't think that defending those weaker than you has ever really been on your docket. I feel like
Carl considers everyone weaker than Carl.
Carl defends his team, but if you're outside his team, he doesn't really give a fuck about you.
Very true.
Look, I only shoot at things that look strong. That worm looked very strong before I snapped its supple little neck.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something along those lines. Challenge something new or defeat an enemy that you think is stronger than yourself.
Take on dangerous foes for now.
I like that. Take on a dangerous foe. That feels like it better surmises, like, rather than it being about Carl thinking it's stronger, but it being because it could still be dangerous. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That feels like it fits better. Slippy, even though you did just do it, do you feel like yours is any different, or do you feel like it's still just being undetected?
No, I think that kind of hits the nail on the head. I think only recently now Sleepy is wanting to be detected more, but I think that still is pretty integral to his character.
Mhm.
He only really wants to be detected by one person.
It's gonna take her a while to come around. The
We've
last
got 2
mission was
months
pretty
or
heavy-handed.
so.
Yeah.
We've been on or off in less time than 2 months, so I'm sure between 2 months we'll at least get an answer.
Perfect.
You ever cut her hands off?
Excuse me?
Not recently.
Because yeah, you did last time that you were with her. This might be worse than those
Yeah,
other
no, it's
times.
just-
Yeah,
it does
I know.
feel like a different equation.
Yeah, I know. But, she was doing the old man money scam, and I wasn't let in on that.
Old
I
man
think
money
that
scam.
You gotta, if you're gonna go for that, you should let at least somebody know. That's all I'm saying.
Tell his bodyguards, hey, I'm doing a scam. Be chill. Let me kill him.
I mean, it's a me.
It's a me, a Slippy.
If I had known the whole time that she was doing the old man money scam, I mean, I could have at least helped.
Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice Delta Dawn is DM'd by myself, M. Williams. The players this season are Lily Ayers playing Carl the Octopus, Lawrence Jennings playing Tombleson S. Slippy, Dante Quiles playing BBW, and Gabe Stringer playing Hyatt Cola. Thanks for listening in, everybody. Make sure you're following us on Twitter/X to stay up to date with all the information regarding the show at DDAD Podcast or DDAD Podcast, or by searching Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice. Next episode will be out September 21st. See you then. Big
Vertical
chunks.
based on what? There's no gravity in space.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whatever. I don't have an actual answer for that, so I'm gonna say whatever and move on.
Gotcha.
You got me. When you stump me, I just ignore it.
What if we should take it? What if this is an upgrade for creation? Like he can eat it and then he can make these things.
Just gonna bring him a pile of dead bodies. Like, you eat that? He's like,
Pharaoh's eye, the pile of corpses. I don't know what he needs.
no.
It's good for you.
Why did we bring him? I don't know.
But you told us to. You didn't.
I didn't.